Joining us to talk about that is a man who has an objection to that resolution, and that's Jamal Abdi, Policy Director at the National Iranian American Council. And good day, sir. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm all right. Israel is our staunchest ally, especially in the Middle East. We have laid down the law verbally to Iran, at least publicly we have, that they would not be permitted to get a nuclear weapon, that the military option's on our table, and that we have Israel's back to the extent that if Israel's attacked, the United States would respond. So what's wrong with the United States Senate? Well, first of all, do you have any problem with any of the things I just mentioned before we get to the resolution?
No, I think that's probably pretty accurate.
No, but does any of it bother you?
No, I mean, I agree that Iran should not be allowed to get a nuclear weapon. They're signed on to the Non-Proliferation Treaty, which means you can have nuclear power, you can't have a nuclear weapon. And I think that the U.S. and our allies, including Israel, should be making sure that that doesn't happen.
Including who?
Including Israel.
Oh, okay. Well, then what's the problem with an Israeli attack on Iran if they feel that their security is threatened, that Iran does have that weapon or is oh so close to getting that weapon? And what would be wrong with their attack and a Senate resolution in support of that attack?
Yeah, well, you remember a little war that we went to 10 years ago with Iraq, I'm sure. And that was a war in which we decided preventively to attack Saddam for WMD that he did not have. Now, what the Senate resolution does is it goes even further than that. It doesn't say that we're going to attack preventively, but it says if Israel decides they want to attack preventively, the United States will provide military support.
Right.
So now I don't care who you are, where you're from, what flag you fly. The United States military should not be preemptively saying to another country, you know what, you want to bomb somebody? We've got your back in the form of troops and money and diplomatic support. We don't do that. Countries should not do that. That puts us in danger.
Well, first of all, so the only way the U.S. should respond militarily, and again, the president has put that option on the table, and you said you had no problem with it, is if Israel is nuked and then respond? Is that your scenario?
No, absolutely not.
Well, then I can't make it all make sense then. Then explain to me how Israel would save itself if they believe that Iran, and Iran hasn't denied this. See, Saddam Hussein denied it. Although, as Hans Blick said, since we knew he had weapons of mass destruction, and we've asked him to document how he's gotten rid of them, as he claims, where and when he's gotten rid of them, and he won't, we must assume he still has them. But Iran says, yeah, we got them, and we're going to nuke you, Israel. We're going to wipe you off the face of the earth. So are you suggesting that Israel and the United States wait until that happens and then respond?
I would highly encourage you to get your facts straight.
What have I said that's inaccurate, sir?
Well, Iran does not say they have nuclear weapons, and the United States does not say they have nuclear weapons. It's the shared judgment of the U.S. and the Israeli intelligence community that Iran has not even made the decision to build a nuclear weapon. This is not me. This is not folks who don't want war. This is the United States intelligence community. These are people who go to the Senate and have told the Senate, look, of course, we have concerns about Iran's nuclear activities. Of course, we're concerned that Iran is putting the capabilities in place where they could have the capability to build a nuclear weapon. But they have not made that decision yet.
Let me take your argument as a premise. Let me cave in, though I think you're 100% wrong. Let me say you're right. You're right.
It's not my argument. It's James Clapper. So
I don't have any confidence. I don't have any confidence in James Clapper. Okay, I have confidence in the Israeli intelligence and the rest of the American intelligence, and the rest of the American intelligence, which says Iran could be a year away, 6 months away, whatever. But let me use your premise. So Israel is supposed to wait until when? When we know for sure they do have the capability to follow through on their threat to destroy it, and then act? Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, what I'm suggesting actually is that it's not up to the United States to decide. We don't say one way or the other what happens. That's up for, there are international rules to the game. There's U.S. law, there's Israeli law. Now, if the Israelis decide that they want to strike Iran, that's a decision for Israel to make. I think that'd be a very bad decision for everybody involved. I do not think that that would help Israel's security.
Really?
But no, I don't think so, because, and this is also, this is not my assessment. This is what people like Bob Gates, Leon Panetta,
right.
Military generals down the line have said.
So again, I ask you, Jamal, Israel, you would advise them to wait until they're sure that Iran has the nuclear capability to do what they say they will do repeatedly, which is we will destroy the Zionist state. We will wipe them off the face of the earth. They should wait until that country can do it and then say, hey, should we do something? Is that what you're suggesting?
No, that's not what I'm suggesting. I don't think we should
not we, Israel. When should Israel do something?
No, I think that what Israel should be doing is actually trying to make sure Iran does not get nuclear weapons. And if Israel bombs Iran, that doesn't mean Iran doesn't get nuclear weapons. That means, okay, maybe some of their facilities get buried for a few months, and then 6 months later, Iran has ejected inspectors and they're actually building a nuke. And then either Israel has to go in and try to do it again, which there are questions about whether they can do this in the first place.
All right.
Or the United States has to go in and do it.
Well, Jamal, we're out of time, and I'm up against a hard break. I thank you for coming on. Jamal Abdi of the National Iranian American Council. I hope you'll come back. I don't really understand the argument, to be honest with you. Israel should prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon, but not really do anything hard militarily. But that's what he said.